there's a good chance that SPX and other crypto exchanges have created tokenized shares to shorten the company and their stock to death. That $1
So I was recording with the other camera, and I ran out of space with the other phone, this phone right here. And I ran out of space, and you can see I was communicating with a friend about this lawsuit, and they were tracking it on my phone. And as they were tracking it, this Lost Time Motors, they were selling it down. And so you can see they're trying to sell it down so it matches the 138 of the AHT. I'm trying to capture it. That's essentially the reason why I took this phone off of. I put it on airplane mode to be able to capture that information. So once I do, I will turn the phone back on. But my interest here is to capture that information. So you'll see, I will be able to merge it with what I've captured already. You know, you can see where we are, you can see what we're recording, we're tracking. So once I put this on, as soon as I put this on, and then open the MARKETMAKERFRAUD.com website, they tracked me, and as soon as they tracked me, they started what you are seeing right there, manipulating the stocks. You can see that, you can see exactly what I said. So as I'm talking, you can see that happening in real time, basically trying to get the Lost Time Motors to 190, 138, as I was chatting with my friend. And so this is real time, and I'm trying to capture that. You'll actually see that captured now. So that's what you're about to see now.
Companies like Citadel, Virtue, they make their bread and butter. This is how they make money. So let's take a look at the retail investors. These are all retail investors. Everyday people.
Can see what happened? They pretended that it's going up, but exactly where it's going is to get it to match the 138, and we will capture that. Once that happens, I'm gonna have a lot of space on this phone to be able to do that. It's going there. What they do is, because they know I record this, they first of all send it low and take it up a little bit, pretend that it's ready. And look at this. This is since 9:40. You can see the time right there. This stock has been at 138. Initially they took it to 140 and then quickly started bringing it down. Try to match the trend. See that? You can see that? You can see exactly what I just said. So you can see exactly what I said. You can see that? So you can see that? So this is a live time now. 11:05 a.m. 11:05 a.m. 11:05 a.m. Yeah. 11:05 a.m.
These people collect the data off of their applications. That might include the stuff that you search for on the internet, personal information. Citadel knows who you are. And it's not like a blind thing. Citadel knows because TM, your browser, TFOF brokers, are sending the information to Citadel with your name and number and what you're looking for, along with another section that takes a look at all the stuff that you are interested in or that you're looking at. I mean, let's say there's one pharmaceutical stock that everyone's really interested in, and people start piling in.
See that?
Retail interest, sentiment analysis, if you will. They take that information unwittingly, by the way. These people don't know about it.
11:05 a.m.
Placing bets, or they start short selling, or they start doing market activities to make money off of that, right? But they don't know their information. The research is being watched by Citadel. These guys are supplying information to the Citadel folks, but they don't realize it. That's the first thing about TFOF. They can not just front run, they can do other things. Now, a lot of times when there's high volume, you have what's called the dark pool. And that's represented in this little tool here and a little ladder, if you will. Now, what can happen is can drip feed it to the NYSE in their stock exchange, which will then either increase in price or decrease in price. But the fact that they can park the order flow here means they can manipulate the price directly from the New York Stock Exchange without having to do much. In other words, they could have millions and millions of shorts, naked shorts. They could drop into the price and the price goes down. And they could park these orders and they could slowly feed the to them, thus nullifying the supply and demand model. And they said it defeats volatility, but they've taken it to a much bigger extreme where they're making tons of money off of it. People will try to get in on the stock and they still can't, and you know they're unable to because these guys have parked the orders in the dark pool and they don't let those orders through. Now there are instances in which some brokers,
see that for itself.
Can
see that?
to go directly to the market itself.
As soon as they see me washing, it slowly, methodically brought the lost time motors, straight to 138 to be able to match with the Ashford Hospitality Trust. And then that's it.
In the meantime, Citadel Securities, the market maker, and the hedge fund are doubling up and making billions each year. I'm talking billions upon billions in order flow alone. They make money on the way up and they make money on the way down. And they make money every which way they possibly can, including shorts, naked shorting, calls, puts, and name, all based on information of user data that they get from these brokers. That's why they want PFOF to work so much. And they manipulate the price. And when the price manipulates the price,
so how methodically they initially was the stock was at 142. First they brought it to 140, and then because they didn't want to go from 140 to 138, so it doesn't to mask the thing, which I have in countless videos. They first go to 141, and then at 141 they took it to 148, and then you can see it there. And watch, okay, I'm gonna pretend, watch what will happen. I'm going to try to get a snip of this. You see how long this has stayed here? Watch my mouth movement. I'm going to try to get a snip of this. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. I'm pulling up the snip thing. Recall how long we've been waiting. So I'm gonna try and get a snip of this. Watch what happens. Watch. The AHT is the one that will likely flip. Okay, good. Beautiful. Because normally what they will do in all the other videos is that they will flip one out. I'm gonna pause the video. Watch. See, immediately, you can see the time. Immediately after I made a snip, you can see the AHT goes up. AHT has been down here since 9:40 to 11, 1.5 hours. Immediately after I made a snip, the AHT goes up. Immediately after I made a snip and added C video on it, the AHT goes up. You can see that here, and you can see this. You can see 940. The stock can see the 940 right here. You know, you can see 940 where this stock has been, and then I made a VA snip. You know, can see that.
At one point, this gentleman, these are regular investors like you or I. At one point, had a certain number of stocks.
I see that, and immediately after I made a snip, you can see this, and then this was at 9:33. This was aligned with that at exactly 11:05, and I've just made it, cut it off. And immediately after I made a snip, the HT goes up, and then the video, you can see this. This is what we have here. You can see that, MARKETMAKERFRAUD.com. And then if you go up here, you see that I'm recording the Citadel thing that is ongoing.
The
and then
relationship
I'll start
between
all over
the
again.
U.S. government, U.S. stock markets, regulators, and the media.
So
It's in correlation
yeah,
with
immediately after I made a
what's
snip,
happened in the
it
market
goes up.
in the past 2 years, specifically the GameStop and AMC short squeeze. Let's start. This is Joseph McGee, who is the head of execution services at Citadel Securities, and this was dated December 16th, 2022, in a discussion and an interview with Bloomberg. The market structure that services retail didn't happen accidentally. It was intentional investment by firms like Citadel, literally billions of dollars over decades, to bring things to where they are today. We want to make sure that everything that was invested in over the years doesn't get taken apart. And that is the head of execution services at Citadel Securities on the Bloomberg interview. Let's talk about Citadel. Citadel is run by Kenneth Cordell Griffin, who's the CEO. Started this firm after his completion of Harvard University. I think he has if I'm not mistaken, an MBA and an Nrde in mathematics. The composition of Citadel's employee base is very interesting. 63% Chinese, 13% Korean, 11% Indian, 9% white, 1% Latinx, and 0.5% African American, and this was sourced from LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn gave us kind of a bit of insight on what the community was like, the Citadel employee community was like, and we found some interesting things. We were able to do some pathologies, if you will. The first thing that happens with Citadel is when you become an employee, you are forced to sign a number of non-disclosure agreements. Everything is very hush-hush. In a sense, Citadel operates more like an intelligence agency than a hedge fund. The hedge fund that makes money is just a byproduct. The information and the part that they have cornered the market in such a way that it creates monopoly is the bigger picture. And they have utilized securities laws to their favor. So it creates basically an antitrust at this moment. And they use existing laws to ensure not only they make very high margins and profit, but the retail investors, the global retail investors, are getting the short end of the stick. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to get into it a little bit further. Let's continue to dissect the actual company itself. Now, let's take a look at this icon right here, this female icon. Let's call her Trader X. Now, Trader X is a successful trader, and she or he has made an egregious amount of money with Citadel Securities as just a regular trader. And they want to branch out and start their own firm. And this is great news for Ken Griffin, because now he has an ally. But how do you keep track of a person who's worked at Citadel, who is a high earner for you, and is going to leave and start their own shop? Well, very simple. Ken Griffin will personally cut you a check. And that check is to finance and cover all the costs of your startup of your own fund, as well as the necessary capital to trade with. We'll make sure all technology needs are met. We'll do the accounting, the guiding, to ensure that you're ready to hunt. Because hedge funds, believe it or not, they hunt in packs.
You can see immediately, you can see the stock that went to 141, that's 141.8. Actually, they still had to put the 8 in there. You can see how what it is. It's still exactly where it is, and that was immediately after I did the snip and saved it. And you saw in the video how they methodically. I'm actually going to pick up that video. I'm actually going to probably put this video in the Yahoo channel. I have tons of them that deserve to get and go in there anyway. It's just that I'm concentrated more on the lawsuit right now.
We believe that if you were to take a Citadel employee cell phone, especially on the trade side, and start looking for remnants in the app store that they had once downloaded Signal, and the vast majority of them probably have.
I reached out to my
friends that were once in the Citadel umbrella, and other hedge funds across the nation, maybe even globally.
reached out today to
So if they hunt in
the
the
computer
past,
guys
that's what they do. They
that are
find a
working on
target
this
company, they want to destroy
and
their thesis,
try to
and they get together
feel
and start hunting in
where they are with regards to what's going
They're
on.
never completely monogamous with another hedge fund. They use different organizations, different companies, just to give
So
the appearance that they're not colluding. You'll be on different plays, different stocks, different commodities, so on and so forth. And that's what successful traders do at Citadel. They branch out and they specialize fund. Sometimes they go into crypto, so on and so forth. And of course, they're getting on their exit non-disclosure agreements. Let's talk about what happens to the executives of Citadel. Now, Ken Griffin.
see the AHT, see, still coming back down because they believe I stop recording.
And you decide to go on to the next level. Let's say you go into the regulatory side. A good example is David Ames, the former head of global operations at Citadel. He now sits on the board of the DTCC and the NSCC. The NSCC issues out synthetic shares. They have the most accurate number of state shares that are in circulation, and Citadel is one of their largest customers. So trying to obtain that information will be next to impossible for anybody who is a retail investor getting shorted to death or stock shorted to death. So guys like David Ames have been in this institution, has created a wall, a Chinese firewall, as we call it. An information flow outside of the agency does not exist unless it's court ordered. Now, let's think about this for a second. Ken Griffin has these strategic friends, strategic alliances everywhere. It's not just regulatory bodies. We can talk about this gentleman here, Larry Berkowitz, and where he started. They may not necessarily work for Citadel. It might be just a relationship he's built and leveraged over a period of time. A good example is Larry Berkowitz. He worked for Wilmer & Hale. Now, Citadel only does business with the top 1% of law firms who operate in the intersection between law and relationships that built over time. Friendly lawyers who go on to work for Citadel, end up in regulatory bodies and convening authorities. A good example is Mr. Berkowitz. Of course, Mr. Berkowitz sits in the SEC as their lead counsel, and he's a high-value asset. He ensures that nobody from Citadel is prosecuted, nothing ever goes to trial, there's no judgments, and Citadel, for the most part, really doesn't get harmed. Now, that doesn't mean Citadel doesn't have to pay small fines, menial fines, when they do get caught. That is just the cost of doing business in the hedge fund world. You might think a $5-6 million fine is a lot of money, and it is for most people. But for Citadel, it's just the cost of doing business. It's a small price to pay. He has also fostered relationships in crypto. He recently started a crypto exchange of his own along with Doug Seeker of Virtue Financial, who's also a competitor. Now, you're probably asking, what does FTX have to do with this? We're going to get into the relationship of FTX and Citadel here in a few minutes, but we wanted to make sure that you understood that Ken Griffin is not monogamous with his friends or his enemies. A friend today might be an enemy tomorrow. An enemy tomorrow might be a friend in a week from now, depending on what it is that they're doing. It's very interesting the way funds operate.
Can see the AHT. Can see that they took up immediately after I did the snip on my computer. That's it. Can see it methodically coming back down because they don't know that I'm still recording.
On both sides of the fence, Ken Griffin is connected with.
Could not have known.
He only pays.
But I'm using a phone with a larger storage space now.
Make sure that his company prospers 10 years from now, 20 years from now, so on and so forth. And he also does preemptive planning with people like Janet Yellen, paying high consulting fees.
And notice how, you remember in the other video, how quickly they brought the lost our motors to 138. And then after that, notice how long it's been sitting there with the speed in which it came down. Just to be able to get it to 138 to gamify the numbers,
let you guys know about the 60%,
timeline, because I am
Chinese,
watching it.
Korean, Indian, white, Latinx, and African American communities. So you have an understanding of the deep psychology behind Citadel's trading model and its business, right? The Chinese, the Indians, and the Koreans come from an Asiatic culture where honor is treasured above all. Honor and respect, and that sort of line of thinking.
Sinclair is about to get head down there.
Very quantitative analysis, the Koreans, the Chinese, and the Indians. There's no question about it. But these are very deliberate moves. They're very deliberate. Not only will they essentially keep their mouth shut, they're very determined, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win, to be competitive, including cheat, unfortunately. And in this model, what we're seeing is the kinds of people that work for Citadel are well disciplined. They have a high sense of honor and prestige, and letting the world know who they are. And those are the high performers, the alphas of the finance world that work for firms like Ken Griffin. They are producers. They produce products. Let's continue on to the next chapter, which is Citadel Securities' relationship with U.S. stock markets. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Now, in order to be performing at the level and at the rate of return that Citadel has, we need willing participants within the confines of the product world. Now, being a market maker with the Nasdaq and the NYSE, it's natural that you would find confederates in every avenue that which you have. Now, Citadel has some very interesting clauses and ratified.
I'm going to pause the video now and wait for them.
Make them really a powerful force because of the way the CNS structure is. And we'll talk about that much later.
Oh, I guess they're trying to get the lost at the AHT with the genus to be at 50 cents ish. 14050 and then 2750. That's basically what you're looking at. That's about to happen.
CEO of ICE, the firm that owns the New York Stock Exchange. And this is his wife, Senator Kelly Loeffler of Georgia. Now,
I think I'll probably show end the video once I capture that, because I do have a lot of work to do.
She was a senator, one term, and then lost to Raphael Warnock. Now, the relationship goes like this. Kenneth Griffin actually contributed significantly to the Georgia election, specifically her. Why? He has no business in Georgia, but because of the relationship to the New York Stock Exchange, one of their companies, IMC, a business that Citadel was wanting to acquire, it required the signature of this gentleman here, Mr. Springer.
Okay, they're trying to bring this to 2.8.
So Ken Griffin, started joining.
They're going to bring this to 2.8 to March the 28th.
And I'm going to go through the numbers here shortly, but he gave $2 million.
That's what you're looking at.
And individually to Kelly Loeffler. I'm going to show you this in a minute. But it was politicized everywhere.
278, okay.
What was happening?
That's what I want.
Behind it. Let's take a look at some of the key points of this.
1 to 2.
Whole deal. Now, Ken Griffin is not monogamous with Democrats or with Republicans.
Oh, see.
Democrats.
2.8.
He donated
See that?
significant amounts to support.
Okay, now that they did this, I think, yeah, see the see that, see the pretense of trading going on, and then watch the 140, the AHT that 140, 1.40 up will still come down to 2.8.
$1 million 5 weeks earlier, and $57 million in general.
That'll be the next
cycle. As we read on, we find out that there was an agreement that was made, a tacit agreement, if you will. Kelly Loeffler's husband is the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange, as well as founder and CEO of the Intercontinental Exchange, ICE, the company that owns the exchange in a $10 billion deal. Loeffler sits on the
Don't forget that I'm walking with one hand and I'm holding this on my left hand, and so they assume that I am not looking, that I'm not recording this, but they know I'm looking at it.
in which he spent tens of millions of
as you've
dollars
seen
on
in the earlier videos and the previous ones. You can see 2828. There's one issue that they'll probably do 2838 soon to be able to match these numbers.
Let's just ensure things go smoothly. And there's probably other money changers that we don't know about, probably in the way of crypto. The circumstances and timing of the Loeffler donation remains distinctive and to serve as illustrate the haze of money.
So that the whole reason why you saw that little movement was to be able to get this to 28, to be able to match this, and then give it a few minutes. They'll bring the one on top. They'll bring it back down to 138.
Wall Street gets away with this. On November 18th, the same day the Civil Securities formally announced the purchase of IMC. The runoff between Loeffler and Warnock underway. Griffin gave $5,600 to the Georgia Battlefield Fund, a PAC established to support Loeffler and Purdue. That curious amount may reflect
This is all.
a misunderstanding. A PAC can accept much higher sums of money, but in this instance, Griffin gave the maximum any individual could donate to the runoff candidate. Brecker and Griffin were the top two donors of Georgia Victory United. The third largest donation gave $500,000. Again, Griffin was the largest individual donor of the 2020 cycle, ranking 6 out of all Americans according to the data compiled by Open Secrets. Now, in other words, there are no obvious political or ideological reasons why Ken Griffin would value Kelly Loeffler so much higher than Doug Collins or anybody else. Or why does he evidently so much interest in her success other than other GOP marketers? As noted above, regarding Citadel Security, it's for legal purposes. It is a short documentary in regards to Citadel Securities, their relationship within the U.S. government, U.S. stock markets, regulators, and the media. It's in correlation with some events that have happened in the market in the past 2 years, specifically the GameStop and AMC short squeeze. Let's start. This is Joseph McCain. He's the head of execution services at Citadel Securities, and this was dated December 16th, 2022, in a discussion and an interview with Bloomberg. The market structure that services retail didn't happen accidentally. It was intentional investment by firms like Citadel, literally billions of dollars over decades, to bring things to where they are today. We want to make sure that everything that was invested in over the years doesn't get taken apart. And that is the head of execution services, Citadel Securities, on the Bloomberg News. Let's talk about Citadel. Citadel is run by Kenneth Cordell Griffin, who's the CEO. Started this firm after his completion of Harvard University. I think he has if I'm not mistaken, an MBA and an Nrde in mathematics. The composition of Citadel's employee base is very interesting. 63% Chinese, 13% Korean, 11% Indian, 9% white, 1% Latinx, and 0.5% African American, and this is sourced from LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn.
So that goes to 30 cents, and then they'll bring this to 140. That will be the next.
And we found some interesting things. We were able to do some pathologies, if you will. The first thing that happens with Citadel is when you become an employee, you are forced to sign a number of non-disclosure agreements. Everything is very hush-hush. In a sense, Citadel operates more like an intelligence agency.
But the video, I hit how many? I am about to hit 30. I'm about to hit 30.
Is the bigger picture, and we have utilized securities law
30 minutes on this recording, so I'll stop.
Basically, an antitrust at this moment, and they use existing laws to ensure not only they make very high margins and profits,
I will pause it and then capture more. But don't make mistake. if you see what is going on, the lost time motor is going to come back to 140 in the next few minutes. And all you're looking at there is that coordination, is that scheme being played here fraud. First day, this is the first time to my knowledge that Genos will be coming to 30 in over a week after they took it down here, following my buy last week and then following the company's announcement of a share of money raise. And it's been sitting there, tempted several times to buy, but I changed my mind on it. And that's where we are with them. So what you're seeing here is an attempt to get it to 30 cents and then hold it there and then see what happens. So once it hits that 30 cents, you will see the other stocks come right up there.
It's very hard to prove that before. But we know they can do that because they've been caught using codes on different markets on level 2 data. But nowadays, applications like Telegram and primarily Signal, which is an unhackable and untraceable phone apparatus, text messaging service used by a lot of different folks, including the criminal underworld, uses it to send messages back and forth. And this is where we believe the communication is happening. We believe
so
that
for the first time, the lost time motor just went to 142.0, and then they brought the Genos to 1029. You can see the 20 that I just captured before they quickly flipped it out. And then apparently they're trying to match the lost time motors with the AHT. You can see that at 142, 141, 142. But watch what will happen.
They're very deliberate. Not only will they essentially keep their mouth shut, they're very good traders, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win, to be competitive, including cheat, unfortunately. And in this model, what we're seeing is the kinds of people that work for Citadel are well disciplined, they have a high sense of honor and prestige, and letting the world know who they are. And those are the high performers, the alphas of the finance world that work for funds like Ken Griffin's. They are producers, they produce products. Let's continue on to the next chapter, which is Citadel Securities' relationship with U.S. stock markets. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Now, in order to be performing at the level and at the rate of return that Citadel has, we need willing participants within the confines of the system. Now, being a market maker with the NASDAQ and the NYSE, it's natural that you would find confederates in every now, Citadel has some very interesting clauses and grandfather clauses and market maker exceptions that make them really a powerful force because of the way the CNS structure is. We'll talk about that much later. So I want to talk to you right now.
I just searched this book right here. I just searched this book right here. See the book, the title of the book? the book by this guy called Colin Lancaster. I just searched the book, and then you can see fed up, success, excesses, and crisis through the eyes of a hedge fund macro trader. He was a former Citadel guy. I just searched the book, and as soon as I searched the book, you can see what happened here. So I just searched the book, tried to search it on Amazon, it's not available. And then I am also listening to this right up here. And as soon as I searched the book, they tracked me, and then you can see that they reacted by aligning the stock. But that's the book. I'm about to buy it, and we'll see. Thank you.
The relationship goes like this. Kenneth Griffin actually contributed significantly to the Georgia election, specifically.
So as I am searching Colin Lancaster, you can see this for yourself. I am searching Colin Lancaster, and you can see the numbers lined up. You can see the time. You can see the time. This is happening. You can see as soon as I came in, you can see that they added this. You can see that. I'm watching my computer as I am doing this.
There are microcaps I could name that have had massive sellouts where value was lost significantly.
See that?
And the limit up and the down from the not vote
Can see
not
that?
really do much.
As I am
And that is a good example.
monitoring, I am searching Colin. You can see that? I am searching Colin Lancaster. You can see the guy. I'm searching him on this other screen. And then as I'm searching it, they're watching me on this. They're watching me on this and manipulating the numbers, aligning the numbers, monitoring the whole screen. This is the book. Colin Lancaster is the ex-Citadel guy that wrote the book, Fed Up, Success, Excess, Crisis, Through the Eyes of Hedge Fund Macro Trader. That's basically the person I'm trying to contact. And then as I'm doing it, you can see what's happening. So, thank you. Put the video on again, and then see, I put the video on. I'm going to see, I just came back and they stopped it again, but I'm also now gonna do this, try to capture this too. I am trying to do a snip, but I'm also recording this as I'm trying to do the snip, so you'll see that. You can see the snip tool coming on, and then let's see, I see the snip tool coming on.
That was not true. The Senate committee actually reported on that, and the media never got to cover it, so he was able to make an escape, and nobody held him accountable for lying in Congress. And additionally, there is a preferred stock, APE symbol, was 12 to 13 times.
I'm gonna keep this on so you guys can see it for yourself.
Because these are convertible
HT,
which they can use to short with.
HT. This is HT and GNS.
It is an
HT
to close this position. It's really impossible. So the idea is to devalue
GNS 12.
The retail investor to capitulate. However, they're holding. And it also cause a very interesting phenomenon called
11:59
deliver, which we'll talk about here.
a.m.
Now, failure to deliver refers to not being able to meet one's trading obligations. And in the case of buyers, it means not having the cash, and in the case of sellers, not having the goods.
Captured that 11:59. This is where I was trying to capture this. The Colin Lancaster. This is the guy right here. That's the guy I was trying to capture. You can see him. I pulled him up. Put the book up on Amazon. This is the book right here. And this is as I started searching that. As soon as I started searching that, the manipulation here, the numbers here started gamifying, and I just did a snip of this. See that?
It can't be disputed. This is
Thank you.
And these numbers are directly 2021.
See, immediately after I stopped, can see that. Immediately after I stopped, can see that. Immediately after I stopped, you can see this from 144. As soon as I stopped, you can see that. Now I'm going to try and capture this again and see what happens. Immediately after I stopped, immediately after I closed the thing. Immediately after I closed the browser, they quickly brought down the AHT, and so I'm going to try to capture this.
And there are other stocks, other tokens, tokenized securities out there. If you're one of the shareholders who has had
I got that.
Stagger and fall in price, there's a good chance that FTX and other
here's where we are.
Crypto exchanges have created tokenized shares.
So you can see me trying to save it. AHT.
And which they get obviously tax reports and what they spend and what they make. And we've shown you that. Now let's talk about the media.
This will now be
Citadel has
12 p.m.
ownership in certain markets of the media, including the Market Watch, so on and so forth. So they do a lot of stock bashing, including representatives from the media.
So this is now 12:04 p.m.
That they call in essentially ensure that
and this happened immediately after they thought that I stopped. After I moved over to the other stock. Don't forget that this chart you're looking at was created on my computer today, because I couldn't log into the Google chart that they were manipulating. And this is what we're capturing. You can see the time clearly right there, 12:05 p.m.
These are all articles just to destroy shareholder value. Now, finally, I want to talk about glitches. Now, this is the coup de grace, if you will, glitches within the system. And this will be the final installment of this series and how Citadel Security.
I'm now working on the other screen, which I'm sure they already noticed.
Here we go. Let's talk about some unusual glitches that we have found. But before we do that, I want to explain to you the PFOF model, the payment for order flow. Now, this is what companies like Citadel, Virtue, they make their bread and butter. This is how they make money. So let's take a look at the retail investors. These are all retail investors, everyday people who have a brokerage account, Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Schwab, whoever they may be using. Now with retail, the information that they have, the things they're doing are just as valuable as the trade itself. Now, what do I mean by that?
Can see.
Very, very simple, you guys.
Can see that from 144 they brought down the lost time motors to be able to merge it to the 139, then got the Genius to be at the same 139.
Proclivity for certain stocks, and that's a tip to the market maker. So if they see that there's heavy volume going on in, let's say, XYZ stock, and Citadel's the market maker for that, they can front run, and they'll be able to short that stock because if they have a thesis, or they can make money on the way down if there is some kind of a short squeeze or some kind of market event, if you will. Now that's the thing about this model. They have all the information here. It's supplied by the brokers. These people collect the data off of their applications. That might include the stuff that you search for on the internet, like personal information. Citadel knows who you are. It's not like a blind thing. Citadel knows because TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, PFOF brokers are sending the information to Citadel with their name and number. What you're
See that for yourself. Just keep it, just to see what's going on, just to see how they try to align the numbers again. that doesn't mean that I need any more any more videos to show you guys, to show anybody. We have collected it all, but part of what I'm doing now is to show that it is continuing, never stopped, never stopped.
The research is being watched by Citadel. These guys are supplying information to the Citadel folks, but they don't realize it. That's the first thing about PFOS. They can not just front run, they can do other things.
What your research is being watched by Citadel.
And that's represented in this little pool here and the little
yeah. See the video right up there? Citadel, the Council of the U.S. stock market. The guy just said it. That your research was being watched by Citadel. And not just watched, Now, how are they watching it? They're watching it in your computer.
And they can drip feed it to the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, which will then either increase in price or decrease in price.
So before you even make any move, they already know. Now imagine how bad it is now when you now become a target, and then they're now tracking you.
They could drop you the price, and the price goes down, and they could park these orders, and they could slowly feed the thing, and thus nullifying the money model.
See how everything suddenly is flattened out?
But they've taken it to a much bigger extreme, where they're making tons of money off of it. People will try to get in on the stock when they still can, and they're unable to, because these guys have parked the orders in the dark pool, and they don't let those orders through. Now, there are instances in which some brokers, maybe not these particular ones, but non-PFOS brokers, will allow you to go directly to the market itself.
275.
At times,
that's what they're trying to recreate.
The people that facilitate the orders still run through a dark pool or another mechanism. So,
I bet you if you look at the, which I'm not prepared to do now because I have a handful, but I bet you if I open up all these stocks, you'll see basically that nothing has happened on them all day. You just have these criminals following me here. The lawsuit is on. They have hired their lawyers, tons of lawyers. Almost 8 different law firms are involved in the case right now. From the money that they stole from me and from everybody else involved in this.
All based on information of user data that they get from these brokers. That's why they want PFOS to work so much. And they manipulate the price. And when price manipulation occurs, right, because the New York Stock Exchange reports these things, and they have an API which reports these brokers, and anywhere you can read a share price for a stock. And oftentimes, when Citadel is messing around and they're trying to front run a stock, let's say
you can see everything is still flat. You can see that?
You're going to find unusual glitches, right? Now the broker and Citadel themselves, including
I'm going to pause the video again now. 275, that's probably what they will try to, we'll probably do 75 on the Yahoo and on the GNS.
Millions and billions of dollars are pouring into a stock. These glitches have a tendency to mess up, right? The wires get crossed sometimes, and sometimes order flow and the actual price of the stock actually comes through. A good example is this. This person had 89 stocks. They connected their broker, the Yahoo Finance. 89 stocks, 89 shares of AMC, right, at $47.09.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video now. Oh, okay, 75. They want to get to the 75.
And these glitches were documented on Reddit, on the subreddit AMC stock. And you'll find them all here. These are crazy numbers that were found over a million.
Yeah, I'm going to pause this. When they get to 75, I will see the game of fives here going on. So I see the game of fives going on. You see that? 5005 and 5. See the fives. I see the fives. Yeah, 5005 and 7 and 75.
Another one, let's look closer to this. Now take a look at this. Look at the tax law. 1 minute, you're in a high tax bracket, and then out of the blue, out of nowhere, go to another tax bracket. How is that possible?
See that?
Is that a coincidence? Is that a coincidence? That's the unusual thing. Nobody seems to give us an answer, a good answer. You know? And this is where, I don't know if you can play this, but I'm going to try to play this. No, it's not playing. Let's go on to the next one. $584. $436.
See that?
$74.84. But ran up to $175. 11,000 a share. 2,000 a share. Let me see, $34. 32, where is it? 316. I mean, these are just crazy, crazy numbers that keep coming up. Why is that? This is market manipulation. Here's a great example. A market capital company that only has 500,000 shares, 500 million shares, with a market cap of $368 billion. Regarding civil securities, it's for legal purposes. It is a short documentary in regards to Citadel Securities, their relationships within the U.S. government, U.S. stock markets, regulators, and the media.
Put it on again.
The retail investors, the global retail investors.
Okay, as soon as I put it on, they remove the 5. I was going to do another snip. But as soon as I did that, they removed the 5. So I'm going to hang on to this and see whether they put back the 5.
Let's take a look at this icon right here, the female icon. Let's call her Trader X. Now, Trader X is a successful trader. And she or he has made an egregious amount of money in Citadel Securities as just a regular trader. And they want to branch off and start their own spot. And this is great news for Ken Griffin, because now he has an ally. But how do you keep track of a person who's worked at Citadel, who is a high earner for you, and is going to leave and start their own shop?
Okay, they want to do 0, so they will remove the 5 from the AHT to minus now.
And cover all the costs of your startup of your own fund, as well as the necessary capital to trade with. We'll make sure all technology needs are met. He'll do the accounting, the guiding, to ensure that you're ready to hunt. Because hedge funds, believe it or not, they hunt in packs. They're never completely monogamous.
Can see that? Can see what they can see that? Can see the reason why. And when I saw the 0.30 going down, I was wondering what it is. But you can see what it is. They brought it down, can see that? Brought it down to 2.75. Marched the 2.75 with the one below, and then they quickly turned it right up, and then to march the 50 with the 4050 up.
Let's talk about what happens.
Time now is 12:23 p.m. Can see that? So they have to march. See that? See that? Match it either to match it to the 28.75 or the match it to the 1 up. See that? Can see that?
The NSCC
Yeah.
issues out synthetic shares. They have the most accurate number of fake shares that are in circulation. Citadel is one of their largest customers. So trying to obtain that information will be next to impossible for anybody who is a retail investor getting shorted to death.
But you can see the time.
So guys like David Ames have been in this institution, have created a wall, a Chinese firewall, as we call it. An information flow outside of the agency does not exist unless it's court ordered. Now, let's think about this for a second. Ken Griffin has these strategic friends, strategic alliances everywhere. It's not just a regulatory body. We can talk about this gentleman here, Larry Berkowitz, and where he started.
Can see that?
They may not necessarily work.
See the 75 again.
The relationship he's built and leveraged over a period of time. A good example is Larry Berkowitz.
Calling in real time.
Citadel only does business with the top 1% of law firms who operate in the intersection between law, finance, and politics. Relationships are built over time. Friendly lawyers who want to work for Citadel, ends up
see that?
Mr. Berkowitz sits in the SEC.
See the exact reason why they brought it down in the first place.
He ensures that Billy from Citadel is prosecuted, nothing ever goes to trial, there's no judgments, and Citadel, for the most part, really doesn't get harmed. Now,
Yeah,
that doesn't
I
mean
was surprised from 29 they started sliding it down to 2880, and then I was wondering, okay, I paused the video and went to take some medication that I've been taking, and then immediately after taking it, I looked. They've already matched the stocks to. The 50 was already matched, and then the 75, they already matched. The 75 below was matched to 75, and the 50 was matched to 50. So.
And Citadel here in a few minutes, but we wanted to make sure that you understood that Ken Griffin is not monogamous with his friends or his enemies. A friend's name might be. For legal purposes, it is a short documentary in regards to Citadel Securities, their relationships within the U.S. government, the U.S. stock markets, regulators, and the media. And it's in correlation with some events that have happened in the market in the past 2 years, specifically the GameStop and AMC short squeeze. Let's start. This is Joseph McCain. He's the head of execution services at Citadel Securities, and this is dated December 15th, 2022, in a discussion and an interview with Bloomberg. The market structure that services retail didn't happen accidentally. It was intentional investment by firms like Citadel, literally billions of dollars over decades, to bring things to where they are today. You want to make sure that everything that was invested in over the years doesn't get taken apart. And it is the head of execution services at Citadel Securities on the Bloomberg News. Let's talk about Citadel. Citadel is run by Kenneth Cordell Griffin. He's the CEO. Started this firm after his completion of Harvard University. I think he has if I'm not mistaken, an MBA and an undergrad in mathematics.
Can see that.
The composition of Citadel's employee base is very interesting. 63% Chinese, 13% Korean, 11% Indian, 9% white, 1%
I'm gonna pause
Latinx,
this.
0.5% text messaging service used by a lot of different folks, including the criminal underworld, uses it to send messages back and forth. And this is where we believe the communication is happening. We believe that if you were to take a Citadel employee's cell phone, especially on the trade side, and start looking for remnants in the app store that they had once downloaded.
Consider numbers.
And the vast majority of them probably have. We would venture to say
Consider numbers.
Communication with
That's basically to gamify the one when they lose ideas.
Across the nation, maybe even globally.
Just put this in to capture this, nothing more.
What they do, they find a target company,
And then just hope the reason also because I believe at some point they'll get the one below, the 14275, they'll probably get it to align to the one on top or vice versa. So when that happens, I'll capture it.
It'll be on different plays, different what they're doing. It's very interesting the way these funds operate. There is reciprocity, there is friendship, but ultimately it's really about cutting up the pie, and the pie is essentially your money. Now, politically, Ken Griffin is very well connected, and we'll show you in this brief that on both sides of the fence, Ken Griffin is connected with. If he's Democrat or Republican, he only pays for candidates that can represent him.
Consider 4,000 up, consider 4,000 down.
And he makes sure that his company prospers 10 years from now, 20 years from now, so on and so forth.
See that?
And he also does preemptive.
They quickly flip the one up as they believe I'll run to go get my camera.
One day you're going to be spotted to become a regulator. Good example is Janet Yellen. And this outline like I said, it operates, when you look at this thing, it looks like it's a nation state. It operates like a nation state, Citadel Security. And they're very well disciplined. That's the key thing.
I got it already.
Citadel Security. They're very well disciplined.
And
Now, the reason why I let you guys know about the 63% Chinese, Korean, Indian, white, Latinx.
Just give it a couple more minutes.
So you have an understanding of the deep psychology behind Citadel's trading model and its business, right? They came from the same day that Citadel Security finally announced structure with INC. The runoff between Lockwood and Warnock underway. Griffin gave $5,000 to the Georgia Battlefield Fund. Attacker established to support Lockwood and Purdue. That curious amount may reflect a misunderstanding. A PAC can accept much higher sums of money, but in this instance, Griffin gave the maximum any individual could donate to the runoff candidate. Referring Griffin was the top two donors of Georgia Victory United. The third largest donation gave $500,000. Again, Griffin was the largest individual donor of the 2020 cycle, ranking 6th out of all Americans according to the data compiled by Open Secrets. In other words, there are no obvious political ideological reasons why Ken Griffin would value Kelly Loeffler so much higher than Doug Collins or anybody else. Or why does he evidently so much interest in her success other than other GOP members? As noted above, Loeffler sits on the U.S. Senate committees that conduct the oversight for for stock trading. And that's how Mr. Griffin has been getting away with some of this stuff. It's safe to assume that the donations are being made because Citadel stands to benefit by keeping her in office. And nobody has the moral courage to do anything about this. Now, do you remember Joseph McCain, the head of execution services at Citadel Securities, the gentleman that made the comment in the beginning? And one of the things that he does,
I was going to pause this, but I changed as they dropped the AHT to 137. The reason because any change in the movement of any of these stocks, as I watch them, is designed for something else, and that's basically what I am trying to capture.
Long relationship with Wall Street, and he said of execution services, said I would trust the guy, and he was sent over to sit on the board that oversees the limit up and limit down. Now, limit up, limit down, just a quick way to describe it is a committee that votes to ensure that a stock that has high velocity, high volatility, is trading high.
So I'll probably try to see what it is. Where's the next move?
You certainly make money down. And what that does, it saves the funds, the brokers, and everybody else, especially those who are short, trying to drop the price or so on and so forth, especially for the short squeeze. Very rarely do they do the opposite of the limit up, limit down feature. There are microcaps like
So far, nothing.
that have had massive sell-offs.
Okay, I'll pause and see where this goes and see where the numbers are now.
Not really do much.
Time now is 12:45 p.m.
When you have the right people,
Thank you.
the right place. It's not like a blind thing. Citadel knows because PE and Nrde, Robin, PFOS brokers, are sending the information to Citadel with your name and number what you're looking for, along with another section that takes a look at all the stuff that you are interested in or that you're looking at. And let's say there's one pharmaceutical stock that everyone's really interested in, and people start piling in because of retail interest, sentiment analysis, if you will. They take that information unwittingly, by the way. These people don't know about it. They take that information and they start placing bets, or they start short selling, or they start doing market activities to make money off of that, right? But they don't know their information. The research is being watched by Citadel. These guys are supplying the information to the shorts, naked shorts. They could drop in the price and the price goes down, and they could park these orders and they could slowly feed this to them. And thus, no funds.
3899.
And they said it was
I am
but they
I am
pivot to much
pretending to be
bigger
working on the other side, so isn't it? I don't know. I'm recording, but you see 2877, not time to 99.
Unable to because these guys have parked orders in the dark pool, and they don't let those orders through. Now there are instances in which some brokers, maybe not these particular ones, but non-POS brokers will allow you to go directly to the market itself. But at times, the dark pool and Citadel, the people that facilitate the order still run to a dark pool or another mechanism. So in every instance, retail investor order flow goes to Citadel Securities. The fake shares are routed through the GTCC, which is represented in this class building, and it gets everything's okay. They okayed it here. They okayed it here. Everything looks good. Boom, boom, boom. The order gets filled. The order gets sold. In the meantime, Citadel Securities, the market maker, and the hedge fund are doubling up and making billions each year. I'm talking billions upon billions in order flow alone. They make money on the way up, and they make money on the way down. And they make money every which way they possibly can, including shorts, naked shorting, calls, puts, you name it, all based on information of user data that they get from these brokers. That's why they want PSOS to work so much. And they manipulate the price. So when price manipulation occurs, right, because the New York Stock Exchange reports these things, billions of dollars over decades bring things to where they are today. We want to make sure that everything that was invested in over the years doesn't get taken apart. And that is the head of execution services, Citadel Securities, on Bloomberg News. Let's talk about Citadel. Citadel is run by Kenneth Cordell Griffin. He's the CEO. Started this firm after his completion of Harvard University. I think he has if I'm not mistaken, an MBA and an undergrad in mathematics. The composition of Citadel's employee base is very interesting. 63% Chinese, 13% Korean, 11% Indian, 9% white, 1% Latinx, and 25% African American. And this is sourced from LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn gives kind of a bit of insight on what the community was like, the Citadel employee community was like, and we found some interesting things. We were able to deduce some pathologies, if you will. The first thing that happens, the market structure that services retail didn't happen accidentally. It was intentional investment by firms like Citadel, literally billions of dollars over decades, bring things to where they are today. We want to make sure that everything that was invested in over the years doesn't get taken apart. And that is the head of execution services, Citadel Securities, on Bloomberg News. Let's talk about Citadel. Citadel is run by Kenneth Cordell Griffin. He's the CEO. Started this firm after his completion of Harvard University. I think he has if I'm not mistaken, an MBA and an undergrad in mathematics. The composition of Citadel's employee base is very interesting. 63% Chinese, 13% Korean, 11% Indian, 9% white, 1% Latinx, and 25% African American. And this is sourced from LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn gives kind of a bit of insight on what the community was like, the Citadel employee community was like, and we found some interesting things. We were able to deduce some pathologies, if you will. The first thing that happens with Citadel is when you become an employee, you are forced to sign a number of non-disclosure agreements. Everything is very hush-hush. In a sense, Citadel operates more like an intelligence agency than a hedge fund. The hedge fund that makes money is just a byproduct. The information and the part that they have cornered the market in such a way that it creates monopoly is a bigger picture, and they have utilized securities laws to their favor. So it creates basically an antitrust at this moment. And they use existing laws to ensure not only they make very high margins and profit, but the retail investors, the global retail investors, are getting the short end of the stick. And what I mean by icon right here, the female icon. Let's call her Trader X. Now, Trader X is a successful trader. And she or he has made an egregious amount of money in civil securities as just a regular trader. And they want to branch off and start their own thing. And this is great news for Ken Griffin, because now he has an ally. But how do you keep track of a person who's worked at Citadel, who's a high earner for you, and is going to lead and start their own shop? Well, very simple. Ken Griffin will personally cut you a check. And that check is to finance and cover all the costs of your startup, of your own fund, as well as the necessary capital you can trade with. And make sure all technology needs are met, he'll do your counseling, the guiding, ensure that you're ready to hunt. Because hedge funds, believe it or not, they hunt in tax. It is illegal for hedge funds to communicate to take down companies. You're not going to, you see, it's very hard to prove that in court. But we know they can do that because they've been caught using codes on different markets on level 2 data. But nowadays, applications like Telegram and primarily Signal, which is an unhackable and untraceable phone apparatus, text messaging service used by a lot of different folks, including the criminal underworld, uses it to send messages back and forth. And this is where we believe the communication is happening. We believe that if you were to take a Citadel employee's cell phone, especially on the trade side, and start looking for remnants to the App Store that they had once downloaded Signal, and the vast majority of them probably have, we would venture to say that they have communication with their own friends that were once in Citadel umbrella and other hedge funds across the nation, maybe even globally. But they hunt in packs. That's what they do. They find a target company they want to destroy, they have a thesis, and they get together and they start hunting in packs. They're never completely monogamous with another hedge fund. They use different organizations, different companies, just to give the appearance that they're not colluding. It'll be on different plays, different stocks, different commodities, so on and so forth. And that's what successful traders do at Citadel. They branch out and start their own fund. Sometimes they go into crypto, so on and so forth. And of course, they're giving, on their exit, non-disclosure agreements. Let's talk about what happens to the executives at Citadel. Now, Ken Griffin builds relationships. Relationships matter. Now, if you're an executive and you're performing, you're doing great things for the company, and you decide to go on to the next level. Let's say you go into the regulatory side. A good example is David Payne, the former head of global operations at Citadel, now sits on the board of the DTCC and the NSCC. The NSCC issues out synthetic shares. They have the most accurate number of fake shares that are in circulation, and Citadel is one of their largest customers. So trying to obtain that information will be next to impossible for anybody who is a retail investor getting shorted to death, their stock shorted to death. So guys like David Ames have been in this institution have created a wall, a Chinese firewall, as we call it. An information flow outside of the agency does not exist under this court order. Now, let's think about this for a second. Ken Griffin has these strategic friends, strategic alliances everywhere. It's not just regulatory stuff. We can talk about this gentleman here, Larry Berkowitz, and where he started. They may not necessarily work for Citadel, it might be just a relationship he's built and leveraged over a period of time. A good example is Larry Berkowitz. He works for Wilmer Hale. Now, Citadel only does business with a 1% of
I didn't know this was actually recording when I put it down. That you can see that. But now watch. I'm going to try to get a snip. Watch what happens. Watch what happens to the snip as I try to get it. See that? So now watch the snip. Watch. I'm about to get it. But don't hold your breath for it. At the last minute, they pull it out. That's how it has always happened. Sometimes it works, I get the snips, sometimes I don't. Alright, this comes in.
that is just the cost of doing business.
Don't forget, I have tons of it already. This is just another one.
A $5-6 million fine is a lot of money, and it is for most people.